India is strategically located on the world's shipping routes, with a long coastline of about 7,517 kilometers, 14,500 kilometers of potentially navigable waters. Indian Maritime Sector contributes approximately 95% to India's trade by volume and 70% by value. There are over 200 major and minor ports. India launched the Sagarmala project to enhance portlet development. With INS Vikrant's commissioning, India joins an elite league of nations to indigenously build aircraft carrier. India plans to invest $82 billion in port projects by 2035. India is the third largest country globally in terms of ship recycling by tonnage.
A ship is safe in the harbour, but that's not what ships are built for. Hello and welcome viewers. You're watching the special presentation of Sansad TV
on making India a manufacturing powerhouse. And today, our focus is on the ports and shipping sector. We are reporting from Cochin Shipyard Limited, the largest shipbuilding and maintenance facility in India.
A strong shipbuilding industry, a large merchant navy, efficient ports, an ocean-going fishing fleet, and the ability to use marine resources are critical for a nation's sea power.
Maritime transport is a critical infrastructure for the social and economic development of our country and has a multiplier effect on trade and income generation, propelling economic growth. It influences the pace, structure, and pattern of development. The maritime sector in India comprises of ports, shipping, shipbuilding, ship repair, and inland water transport systems. India has a rich maritime heritage, and the earliest reference to maritime activities is contained in the Rig Veda. There is plenty of evidence derived from Indian literature, art, sculptures, painting, and archaeology to establish the existence of Indian maritime traditions. A study of countries' maritime history reveals that the Indian subcontinent exercised supremacy over the Indian Ocean from very early times up to the 19th century. Most cargo ships that sail between East Asia, America, and Europe and Africa pass through Indian territorial waters. All ports in India are situated in the 9 coastal states of Kerala, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Goa, Gujarat, West Bengal, Odisha, Andhra Pradesh, and Tamil Nadu. 13 major ports in the country handle a lot of volume of container and cargo traffic. On the west coast, there are the ports of Mumbai, Kandla, Mangalore, JNPT, Mormugao, and Cochin. The ones on the east coast are Chennai, Tuticorin, Visakhapatnam, Paradeep, Kolkata, and Ennore. In Andaman and Nicobar Islands, there is Port Blair. Mumbai is the largest natural port in India. In financial year 2022, all key ports in India handled 650.52 million tons of cargo traffic.
अगर हमें विकास करना है तो पोर्ट लेड डेवलपमेंट पर बल देना पड़ेगा। एक स्टडी कहती है कि सामान को ले जाने में अगर सड़क के रास्ते ₹1.5 का खर्च होता है तो उतना ही सामान ले जाने के लिए रेल के जरिए ₹1 लगता है। लेकिन वही सामान अगर हम जल मार्ग से ले जाएं तो सिर्फ 20-25 पैसे में ले जा सकते हैं।
The Maritime India Vision 2030, a 10-year blueprint with the aim of overhauling the Indian maritime sector, envisages 3 lakh crore investment in port projects that in turn promises to generate employment for 20 lakh people. It envisages developing mega-capacity ports in high-potential areas of Gujarat, Maharashtra, Odisha, West Bengal at an investment of 80,000 crore. The government plans to increase the transshipment volumes of Indian cargo at Indian ports from 25% in 2020 to more than 75% by 2030. Also, the policy focuses on Make in India and Make for the World, and thereby becoming a leading shipbuilding country by 2030 through 15 times increase in the gross tonnage of ships built in India. It envisages setting up a maritime development fund to provide low-cost, long-term funding to maritime sector stakeholders, besides enhancing cruise infrastructure by developing dedicated cruise terminals at select ports. Also, Sagarmala is an ambitious initiative of the government to modernize India's ports so that port-led development can be augmented, and the Sagarmala aims to promote port-led direct and indirect employment generation and GDP growth. The Sagarmala program is expected to bring about a paradigm shift in the way ports in India are managed. It is based on 4 pillars: port modernization, port connectivity enhancement, port-led industrialization, and coastal community development. Number of projects under the Sagarmala program have been enhanced to 1,537, taking the total worth to 6.5 lakh crore. Shipbuilding acts as a catalyst for overall industrial growth due to spin-offs to other industries, including steel, engineering equipment, port infrastructure, trade and shipping.
From across India and Digital Bharat to rise up and build innovation solutions that can transform industries and make them future ready. One such sector is the maritime sector. As you know, the maritime sector holds a pivotal position in India's economic landscape, encompassing ports, shipping, and waterways that connect the nation to the world. Its strategic location along major international trade routes has historically bestowed India with a maritime legacy that stretches back centuries. However, in the digital era, this legacy is being transformed into a dynamic, technologically driven industry.
As India looks to reduce its carbon footprint across sectors, the focus is also at making shipping and logistics sector green.
As India gears to become the hub of green shipbuilding by 2030, the history of ships in the subcontinent traverses time. The history of shipbuilding is a fascinating journey that spans thousands of years, reflecting the evolution of human civilization and exploration of the world's oceans. Throughout history, shipbuilding has been an essential driver of global trade, exploration, and cultural exchange. Today, shipbuilding remains a crucial industry supporting international commerce, naval defense, and maritime exploration across the globe. The shipbuilding industry in India can be broadly categorized into large ocean-going vessels catering to overseas as well as coastal trade, medium-sized specialized vessels like port crafts, fishing trawlers, offshore vessels, inland and other smaller crafts, and defense and naval crafts and coast guard vessels. At the time of independence, there were about a dozen shipyards around Kolkata and Mumbai, which rose to around 45 shipyards in the late 70s. At present, there are about 30 shipyards, out of which 8 shipyards are in the public sector and the rest in the private sector. Major shipyards and R&D facilities in the public sector include Cochin Shipyard Limited, Hooghly Dock and Port Engineers in Kolkata, Hindustan Shipyard Limited in Visakhapatnam, Mazagon Dock Limited in Mumbai, Garden Reach Shipbuilders and Engineers in Kolkata, and Goa Shipyard Limited in Goa.
CSL delivered the prestigious indigenous aircraft carrier INS Vikrant to the Indian Navy. India joins the select group of nations in the world to have designed and constructed an aircraft carrier indigenously. INS Vikrant was commissioned by Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
The technological and engineering marvel, 3 acres of sovereign territory, floating airfield, India's maritime diplomacy and power projection in the Indian Ocean. India's first indigenous aircraft carrier, INS Vikrant, is a tribute to the rising spirits of India on the world horizon. With the commissioning of INS Vikrant on 2nd of September 2022, India entered into a select band of nations having the niche capability to indigenously design and build an aircraft carrier, and real testimony to nations' resolve for self-reliance and Make in India. With a displacement capacity of 42,800 tons, Vikrant, which means victorious and gallant, is the largest ship ever designed and built by India, making it the 6th country to demonstrate the capability to build its own aircraft carrier.
Building the aircraft carrier for Cochin Shipyard, it's been a huge learning experience. It's the first warship building project that we have undertaken. In fact, it is the largest warship building project being undertaken in the country. So it's been a huge learning experience for CSL. It's not only that we have learned in the process, it is also a true reflection of the Atmanirbharta, and it also led to the development of large number of MSMEs and other ancillary industries. It's technically speaking a true reflection of Make in India.
India is now making ships for the world with multiple interventions in the areas of regulatory framework, investment and trade policies, infrastructure, R&D, financing, collaboration and technology.
India's leading shipyard, Cochin Shipyard Limited, bagged a prestigious international export order with a European client for construction and commissioning of service operation vessels for offshore wind farms. With this order, CSL has positioned itself into the league of early movers in the high-end and niche global wind farm vessel construction segment. India has been very active on the international shipbuilding arena for more than 2 decades, having exported more than several vessels to countries such as USA, Germany, Netherlands, Norway, Denmark and Middle East.
Our past deliveries and our track record in Europe are seeing that, making sure that we are actually being more visible these days in Europe. So 2 vessels we exported from Cochin Shipyard last year. These were fully autonomous, fully electric, zero emission. So as our Prime Minister always says, like the absolute zero vessels, zero emission vessels have been exported. Those were small vessels. But as we are speaking, more orders from Europe coming in.
India is the largest hub of shipbreaking and recycling centers in the entire globe. As of 2021, India owns over 30% of global market share in the shipbreaking industry and is home to the largest shipbreaking facility in the world at Alang in Gujarat. Ship recycling capacity will be doubled by 2024, and efforts are being made to bring more ships from Europe and Japan. As part of its plan to reorient national logistics and provide greater employment opportunities, the centre has attracted private participation in port and coastal shipping projects. Under public-private partnership, there are 58 projects worth 40,000 crore under various stages of implementation. Of these, 33 projects of 27,000 crore are operational, whereas 25 projects worth 13,000 crore are under implementation. 19 such projects with total investment of over 8,000 crore have been completed in 2021 alone.
I think this is one opportunity for the shipping per se, that is, the process of shipping itself to be enlarged and communicated to the world at large. There is a huge opportunity for movement of cargo on the coast. Coastal shipping hitherto has been a neglected sector. This government has decided and realized the importance of coastal shipping. Therefore, this Maritime India Summit will showcase those opportunities in coastal shipping. It will also ensure that once it is showcased, it will attract investments. People will realize that there is need for ships to be bought into India, flagged in India, and the whole process of flagging itself is a huge economic activity that will happen. So it will add fleet, it will add seafarers, it will add peripheral services for ships.
PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan is a transformative approach for integrated and holistic planning across ministries and departments to improve multimodal connectivity. It aims at facilitating development of multimodal connectivity infrastructure to various economic zones, including ports and shipping sector. 101 projects in respect of ports and shipping have so far been identified under PM Gati Shakti initiative, worth 60,872 crore for implementation. Out of these, 13 projects worth 4,423 crore have been completed.
Drawing board, we've almost at the moment tripled the projects and also the scale of the projects. So we're expanding both ways, number of projects as well as the size of projects.
Shipping is extremely significant in the world as 80% by volume and 70% by value of the world trade happens on ships. It may not be wrong to call it a prime mover of development, export and import for a country. If India has to be the global player in the world supply chain network, it has to become a hub of manufacturing in shipbuilding industry, and it shall provide a major boost to the policies of the government and programs of the government, including the Make in India campaign. From constructing patrol craft and smaller vessels to frontline ships including submarines, destroyers, frigates, and an aircraft carrier, Indian shipbuilding has taken significant strides in recent years. The shipbuilding and shipping sectors offer immense potential to galvanize the Indian economy and strengthen the manufacturing sector. It shows whole-of-government approach, proactive participation by shipyards, industry, and the services sector to realize the huge potential of India's shipbuilding and shipping industry.
Well, viewers, that's all I could pack for you in this edition from the Kochi shipyard. With camera persons Jitendra Negi, Junaid Iqbal Khan, and camera assistant Pradeep, I am Kriti Mishra signing off from Kochi.